Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we tear through the source material so you can be the most informed person in the room.
And today we are jumping headfirst into the Golden State Warriors.
It has been an absolute roller coaster of a season for them, and the next few weeks are just critical. We've got a fresh Warrior stock report, a bunch of internal analyses.
Yeah.
And it seems like this current 19-game stretch is the definitive test. You know, are they buying, selling, or just watching the dynasty crumble?
That's a mission today, to cut through all that noise and figure out what success or, failure actually means for the team's dynamics.
Right.
We're talking about Draymond Green's come-to-Jesus moment, the surprising value of some key role players.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe the biggest piece. What happens to Jonathan Kuminga as that trade deadline gets closer and closer? The calendar is basically giving them an ultimatum.
Okay, so let's establish the baseline here.
Sure.
If you've just been following the headlines, you might think the Warriors are just, hovering around mediocrity.
Treading water.
Exactly. But the internal view, according to these sources, is, well, it's surprisingly optimistic. They've won 7 of their last 10. They're 7-5 in this crucial window.
And the fascinating part is how they see the losses. They look at those 3 recent ones, Toronto, the Clippers, and the game against OKC, they basically forfeited.
Right.
And they feel like they just mishandled them. They think they were all winnable games that they just gacked, is the word they used, lost due to specific fixable mistakes.
Okay, let's clarify that OKC loss. We're calling it the punt game. For anyone listening who might not know that jargon, what does it mean to punt a game?
It just means they consciously decided to sacrifice it. They looked at the schedule, saw it was the second night of a back-to-back, and said, it's not worth playing stuff in the vets.
So they rested the stars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Conceded the loss to prioritize health long term. So internally, they kind of tossed that loss out. They're more focused on the Clippers game, where the analysis showed a 20-7 turnover deficit.
20-7. Wow.
Yeah. And their thinking is, if we just clean that up, we should be 9-2 in this run. So that confidence, it's all about execution, not a lack of talent.
And that confidence seems to be riding on a formula that's finally paying off.
Yeah.
The health of 2 key guys. We have to talk about Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these are the 2 guys they acquired to be impact players, and for the first 3 months, they were either hurt or just ineffective. Now, they're the glue.
The sources said their last game together was the best they've played all year.
It was. Horford was dealing with some nasty back issues, sciatica. He said it was nerve stuff he'd never felt before. But now, he's apparently the healthiest he's been all season.
This could be managed though, right?
Oh, for sure. He's probably a 20-minute-a-night guy in the regular season. They're being careful.
But Melton, his return has been just explosive. The source material had his stat line. 22 points in 25 minutes. The burst is back.
And that's not even the most important part. You ready for the aha moment stat?
Lay it on me.
Okay. So, in the 13 games Melton has played, when he is on the court, the Warriors have a net rating of plus 10.9.
Plus 10.9. That's a massive number.
It is staggering. Let's break that down. Their offense in those minutes scores at a rate that would be 3rd best in the entire league. Their defense, 2nd best.
So wait, a single role player, just by being on the floor, statistically elevates them from a play-in team to, what, a top 3 contender?
That is exactly what the numbers say. He transforms them.
Which makes you ask the obvious question. Why isn't he starting? One player even called him the prototypical starting 2-guard.
And that's all about the coaching plan. It's his injury history. They're treating it like an Alex Caruso situation.
Okay, explain that.
Well, Caruso, phenomenal player, but he's always picking up little nagging injuries. So coaches limit his minutes, run him off the bench. He doesn't start, but he closes games.
So you save him for the highest leverage moments.
Exactly. It's strategic. Steve Kerr said once the trainer clears Melton for 30 minutes, he'll probably play 30 minutes. They're just being patient now, so he's there for them in the playoffs.
Okay, so from the role players holding it down too, one of the core pillars, Draymond Green. The volatility has been off the charts.
I mean, that ejection against Utah says it all. He was a minus 15 in only 12 minutes.
In a game they won by 9.
Right. And the sources point out that the team's plus-minus hasn't really suffered when he gets ejected, which is kind of a brutal assessment of how he was playing before he got tossed.
It confirms he was actively hurting them.
And internally, they realized his temper wasn't just about reps. It was tied directly to his biggest problem this season. Turnovers. 5-6 a game. And really bad live ball turnovers.
So that leads to this come-to-Jesus moment with Steve Kerr. It sounds like it was less about feelings and more about math.
It was incredibly blunt. Kerr basically told him it's not 2017 anymore. And that's the whole thing, right? In 2017, you could get away with a risky pass. But now, the modern league feasts on that. Kerr pointed out that just 3 or 4 of those live ball turnovers is an 8-point swing instantly. It just kills their margin for error.
So the message was basically, your old style of high-risk playmaking doesn't work for this team right now.
Precisely. And to Draymond's credit, he listened. He's been way safer with the ball, and look at the result. Single-digit turnovers in back-to-back games.
Which, the sources say, is the first time they've done that in 2 years.
2 years. It's an immediate payoff.
But the pressure on him isn't just coming from the coach. It's also personal. We have to talk about this anecdote about his biggest critic.
It's his mom, which is just, it's amazing.
Seriously?
Yes. This is a Hall of Fame player, an imposing guy, and he admitted he's terrified of his mother. She was, and I'm quoting, killing him via text about his play and his attitude. Demanded a heart-to-heart.
So the person who finally got through to him wasn't the coach or the GM. It was his mom.
It's incredible, right? And get this, he told the story that he's been actively avoiding her. Told her he needs to stack 4 to 5 good games together before he'll sit down and talk to prove he's actually changed.
He needs to bring a resume of good behavior to a family meeting. That is a lot of pressure.
And you have to imagine that's compounded by the reality of the trade deadline.
Absolutely. Which leads us right to the stakes here. He knows what's going on.
He's keenly aware. He knows that if the Warriors want to go get a star, there are basically 2 ways to match salary. It's either his contract or you package up Jonathan Kuminga and maybe someone else.
So he's trying to rebuild the foundation, as the report says, make himself untouchable again.
Exactly. And that brings us perfectly to the Kuminga conundrum. His future is completely tied to how this 19-game stretch plays out.
So what's the magic number for the front office? What record gives them the green light to be aggressive?
The target is clear. Mike Dunleavy and the front office, they need to see this team finish the stretch at 12-7 or maybe 13-6. That gets them to about 25-20 overall.
And if they hit that?
If they hit that, it gives them the mandate from ownership, from the veterans, from the media, to go all in, to make a big move.
And all the while, Kuminga, their biggest young trade chip, is just sitting.
He's played 10 minutes total in the last month. He was out of that OKC game with back tightness. And that's a huge problem because his trade value right now is being described as limited to very limited.
Because other teams are looking at him on the bench.
And they're asking, why should we pony up premium assets for a guy that you won't even put in your rotation when the stakes are this high?
It's a management nightmare. You're devaluing your own asset by not playing it.
It makes a trade right now really complicated, which is why management might just decide to hold him past the deadline for market dynamic reasons. Meaning his $22.5 million salary becomes a big, juicy, expiring contract this summer. And an expiring deal is way easier to use in a massive trade in the offseason than trying to force a bad deal right now.
Okay, so this is the great irony, and this is the takeaway for you, the listener. The person who should be rooting harder for the Warriors to win right now than anyone is Jonathan Kuminga.
It sounds totally backwards, but it's true.
Explain why.
Well, think about it. If the Warriors struggle, if they limp to the finish line, management can just say, well, we're not contenders, we'll hold Kuminga for the future.
But if they win?
But if they win big, if they go 5-2 or 6-1 on this homestand, the pressure from Steph, from ownership, it becomes immense. They'll demand the front office cash a chip, use that contract to get a player who helps them win now. Winning is the thing that gets him traded.
That is a wild dynamic for a young player. So what's the vibe around him? Is he miserable?
Surprisingly, no. The reports say he's actually in a pretty good mood. He's way chattier on the bench, more accepting of his role.
A change from before then.
A big change. Remember him working out in the tunnel during games? Now it's more of a, this is life acceptance that he's a trade asset. He's sort of reached this zen-like state of professional resignation.
He's just waiting for the deadline.
Pretty much. Draymond even told a story about Podziemski, the rookie, complaining about minutes near him, and Kuminga was just quiet. He's not in that fight anymore. He's just waiting.
Okay, so before we wrap on the Warriors, let's quickly pivot to their next opponent because they are a perfect contrast. The Sacramento Kings.
They are the cautionary tale. They show you what happens when management goes completely off the rails, which is exactly what the Warriors are trying to avoid.
They're sitting at 8-29. How did it get this bad this fast?
The sources call it a massive screw-up over the last 12 to 18 months. It wasn't just bad luck. It was a series of terrible decisions.
Like what?
A badly timed coach firing, a front office blow-up, and then the big one. They panicked and made a really costly trade involving De'Aaron Fox that brought back salary that just didn't fit. They mortgaged their future for a dysfunctional present.
So they're not trying to win. They're in full rebuild mode.
Yeah. Full rebuild. The new GM, Scott Perry, has a patient, multi-year plan. The single most important goal right now is to get a top 4 draft pick. That player will become the new centerpiece.
And what does that mean for their current roster? Are they selling?
They are trying to clear the decks completely. If a team offered expiring contracts for a guy like Domantas Sabonis, who is rehabbing a torn meniscus, by the way, or Zach LaVine, the Kings would listen.
They just want the long-term money off the book.
Immediately. They're doing what the Atlanta Hawks did. Prioritize flexibility over everything. Hit the big red reset button.
Which really puts the Warriors' situation into perspective. They're fighting for a couple of wins to justify a huge investment, while the Kings are just trying to escape their own mistakes.
Exactly. So, to tie it all together for you listening, the thing to watch this next week isn't just the record. It's not just about getting to 5-2. It's about that internal vibe, that professional focus that Steph Curry wants.
If that holds steady.
If that holds, the front office has to act. And the success of this team right now is a direct threat to Jonathan Kuminga's spot on the roster.
And here's the provocative thought to leave you with. When you boil it all down, with all the star volatility and the trade talk, the immediate success of this Warriors dynasty, their entire margin for error, is currently resting on the health and production of 2 veteran non-core players, Al Horford and Anthony Melton.
So what does it mean for your team, for your supposed dynasty, when your entire foundation is being held up not by your Hall of Famers, but by your 5th and 6th men playing out of their minds?
Think about that. Keep getting into the details, and we'll catch you next time for the next deep dive.